Hello, everybody. Welcome to Horror Soup. We have a couple Patreons to thank real quick. First of all, I would like to thank Brytanny. His lip still hurts, and he's donating. She is donating $10 now, and it's been so long calling you Brytanny. I don't know what gender you are anymore, but they gave us $10, so that's $10 not spent toward the lip medicine. So I think their lip still hurts. I would also like to thank Uncle Nino. Uncle Nino, thank you so much. I love your work on the Jersey Shore. You're the best uncle that anyone could ever ask for. Vinny is he's in good hands. Thank you.
Uncle Nino, you're like a father to me. You're the father I never had. We would also like to thank Cheryl Holder in the $10 postcard soup tier. You're the best. You are a postcard holder, Miss Cheryl Holder. You go ahead and hold that postcard, girl.
Thank you, Peril Boulder. What'd you say the name was?
Thank you. Smerrill Smolder.
Carol Moeller. Perfect. So we're on the right track. So guys, episode.
This is Horror Soup, and China is East.
Gab's here. Welcome to Horror Soup.
T-shirt time.
Gab's here. T-shirt time. GTL, baby. GTL. What?
Hold on. Before I get to that, I have something more important to say. That one episode where Polly's like, GTF. Jim Tan, find out who Sam's texting behind Ronnie's back.
Yes. Guys, Angelina doesn't know about the note. All right, guys. Off of Jersey Shore for once, finally.
I'm Bree.
I don't care about that. We're moving on.
Okay.
So today we have an episode about The Shivering Truth, a show that's premiering on Adult Swim on May 10th. That's this Sunday, if you guys are listening like right when this episode comes out. If you're not familiar, The Shivering Truth is a stop-motion show on its second season, and it's written by Vernon Chapman and directed by himself and Kat Solon. And if you keep listening to this episode, we're gonna start off with a review of the first episode of season 2, which is not out yet, like we said, but you can listen to it and get spoiled if you want. If you want to keep listening after that, we have a really cool discussion with Kat Solon, who is honestly just she's something else.
She's a gem.
That chick is something else, and I think it's a really fun conversation. So if you guys want to listen to that, stick around. If you don't want to listen to any of it, then you can fuck off.
Frig off, dude.
This show, I want to start off saying this show is baffling.
It's, to say the least, it's fucking like it. I had no idea what to expect. Like when you told me to watch this show, because I mean that's how these things mostly go. You just tell me to watch shit, and then I do it, and then.
True.
But like I had no idea what to expect, dude, and then I put it on and I was like, okay, what the fuck? Like I was not expecting like the stop motion and like just the creepiness of it and how gnarly it was, really. Like I don't know. It's a good show. I like it.
I actually watched the show when it first came out because I saw the trailer for it and I saw the hide and seek one with the little girl like from the first season.
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah.
what the fuck? So I watched that episode and I didn't like hold on to it too much. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then like I kind of started watching other stuff and forgot about it. And then we got reached out to and I went back into it and it's like, holy shit. Watching it from beginning to end was really fun.
Dude, that episode, I can't remember which episode it was, with the peekaboo episode.
That's episode 2.
That is like my worst nightmares, dude. Literally, this show is like all of my worst nightmares just combined into one beautiful stop motion television show.
Oh, I love all of it. So we're going to talk about the first episode of the second season. So this new episode, it starts out obviously with like, some random dude bullying a homeless guy. And then he's like, hey, do you believe in God? And he's like, yeah, I do. And he goes, all right, pray me a hoagie.
Number 7, with pimento.
And then he goes, he's like, all right, pray to fly me home. And then he hops on this dude's back, and then he starts flying this guy through the sky like the Jetsons, but with homeless people. And prayer's magic. That's pretty much what we're getting. And hot soup pours all over this guy, and then he gets prayer jacked, which pretty much means that some other chick started praying on top of him and stole his prayer car.
I wrote some like little quick notes about this down, like just like pretty much rough drafts, and I just wrote homies getting prayer jacked.
Yeah, it was fucked up, man. He got super jacked. And then we see this guy. He has a praying medical issue. So his issue is his hands catch on fire every time he tries to pray. And then shut up. His hands leave his body. Like pretty much they get ripped off, and then he has just little slivers.
He's got like slug arms. Basically what Caleb has.
It's pretty great.
If you've ever met Caleb, you know what I'm talking about.
All he wants is his hands back so that he can pray for his hands back. I like the way this guy thinks. So
perfect.
Now he decides to buy a TV, and the salesman bullies him, and then, he becomes a manager because he's like, I want to speak to your manager. He's like, all right, hold on, let me make a call. Okay, I'm the manager. And then he's like, all right, I want to talk to the owner. And this guy's like, all right, wait, hold on. He's like, yeah, dude, fuck yeah, I bought the place.
He's like, hold on, you're distracting me. And he's like typing on his phone, and he's like, woo, I just bought this bitch.
So
Insanity.
Then he tries to sell this guy a TV with a dead girl in it, but for some reason this guy doesn't want to buy it. And then the salesman's like, all right, why do you want a TV? And then he starts speaking in tongues to the dead girl instead of this static TV. And then actually the dead girl is like part of the stubby arm man that died. It's like the bad part of him. So then the salesman is like... So the salesman
it's so fucking weird.
He's like, all right, talk to the TV girl. And he's like, all right, I need her to make me feel better. And then she's like, all right, well, I'm lonely and I'm trapped in a TV and I'm dead. He's like, you know what? That did it.
Yeah, he's like, make me feel better about myself. She's like, well, I'm not having a good time. And he's like, you know what? I'm having a better time because of this. That's the gist of it.
It's solid logic.
Love it.
So now we get to some blind girl to read Braille off of this guy's nub pimple arms. So he gets annoyed and he pushes his arm boils into his body and then they come out of his face. And
his
they're like,
neck.
Yeah, his face and his neck and everything. They're just all pointing out. And then he's like, all right, I think I should probably go to the doctors. So he does. And then they're like, all right, you got a case of twin towers all over your face.
Dude. Oh my god. Can I say it? I'm just gonna say like what flies into his twin tower pimples.
Oh, I have all. So we meet a jumper, and then we actually
no. Before that,
we actually no, it's right after, and then we see the jumper on top of the towers or whatnot, and we actually saw a puppet of that from Kat too. The puppet
Amazing.
from this episode is fucking so cool. And then the guy's like, all right, can we get rid of the towers? The doctor's like, all right, I got you. So he leads some suicide bombers on mopeds out.
No.
Straight into the towers.
They were old ladies on Segways.
I thought it was hipsters on mopeds.
Hipsters on mopeds? I'm pretty sure it was old ladies on Segways.
You're probably
I'll
right,
because
I was just laughing. I couldn't I couldn't follow.
I mean, both make sense.
So these hipster old ladies on Segways destroy the many towers. So this guy's he's acne free now.
Yes.
So he's very happy. Skin is clear. He goes to the grocery store and he tries to get a paper bag. And he's a shithead for that. They're like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, all right, plastic. And everyone's like, oh my God. And then some girls actually they drop their plastic and paper bags in disgust. And they're like, oh my God. And he's just like, are you kidding me? You're fucking killing dolphins. He's just like, oh, what? What did I do? He's like, all right, you should be helping poor people, you dick. So he's like, all right, I'll do that. So he goes over. He's handing out soup with his slug arms. And the guy comes around. He's like, you really? Not solid food? You fucking kidding me? So he just this guy already knows. He grabs a fucking plate of sandwiches with his slug arm because he's like, he already knew this guy, this hipster guy with the man bun was going to come back. And he's like, all right. So gives him sandwiches, and then he's like, all right, well, you need to give him a higher power or something like that, and then a place to stay. And he's like, all right, whatever. So he takes them home. He's praying with them, and then they're like, ugh, you fucking kidding me?
Hold on.
So what?
The whole time that this hipster dude is yelling at him for not doing shit, he's like, It's so funny. I don't know if that'll even pick up on the mic, but it's hilarious, dude. And he's like digging in his eye, and it's like making these gross squelching noises. And he's like, love it.
And then some hands start to come out of this slug guy's eyeballs, and then they start praying, and then he kind of just transcends. And this guy's like, yeah, how do I even know you're transcending? And then the douche guy thinks he's better than everyone else, so he starts fingering his eye socket. And then he starts shooting eye juices at people, kind of like belittling them, doctors, babies, all that good stuff.
All over the place.
We hear a jingle about, flicking your brain bean, which really sent me off the deep end. And then his face gets plugged, and then demon juices go everywhere. They fill the land, so, of course, Goo Monster shows up.
Good old gooey, gross-looking earwax monsters.
King Kong Goo Monster.
We love it.
And then eyeball static hands. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to end this, because I don't know how this ends.
Do we ever? All I can say is the music that comes on in the closing music, I guess you would call it, is amazing.
Boner
I love
jingle
it.
Or whatever it was. What was it?
He's like, "There's blood in." I don't want to get copyrighted.
Oh shit! Yeah, don't.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, no. Never mind.
Cut it off. Cut it off.
Shut it down. Shut that right down.
But yeah, guys, that's the Shivering Truth. If you think it sounds wacky, which it is, it is stop motion. It's horror. It's very comedy driven. It's
a wild
awesome.
ride. It is a wild fucking ride.
And this is not me saying this just because we interviewed her. If we interviewed her and it sucked, I'd tell you it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But genuinely, this show's fucking awesome, dude. The work they put into this and the finished product is so cool. It's fucking awesome. And they're 11 minutes. You're not going to lose anything from it.
Not at all.
But when you finish the first episode, you're going to want to keep going. And you can find all of the episodes from season 1 on Adult Swim. And like we said, on Sunday on Adult Swim, I think they premiere around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or something like that. I'm not right on that at all, though. So it's on Sunday, sometime after Adult Swim comes on. Just watch everything on Adult Swim until that comes on. Is that Adult Swim? Are you guys sponsoring me? I don't know. No. Oh, wait. Hey, Tyler? No, Tyler's not here.
Aw, I miss him. I miss him already. Miss you, Tyler.
All right, guys. So if you enjoyed this, turn it off. No, just keep listening, and interviews coming right now with Kat Solon.
Bye. But not for long. Oh, yes. Hello, I am Bree. You guys all know me. I've been here before.
Have you? Oh, shit.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we have someone that hasn't been here before. An extremely special guest. We have Kat Solon, who, correct me if I'm wrong, you're basically the backbone of all the terrifying shit in the Adult Swim television show, The Shivering Truth, alongside, of course, Vernon Chapman.
Yeah, thank you. That's a nice way to put it.
Round of applause.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much. How's it going today?
Pretty good. I'm trying to pretend it's not as hot as it is outside.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not having fun lately.
Yeah. Me neither. I'm in a sundress and I can't breathe.
Yeah, I'm ready for this to be done and it's just starting. It's great.
Perfect. Just what I wanted.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming. I really can't wait to find out what's wrong with your brain. What is going on in this nightmare that is your brain.
I love it.
I'm excited. It was kind of hard to find some stuff about you because I kept finding articles about cats named Solen.
Really? So that's really interesting because my last name in Swedish apparently is something like sunshine or sun. So yeah, if you look me up, sometimes it's me, it's my work, and then it's a bunch of pictures of cats lying in the sun.
I see your cat right now too, just crawling around.
Yeah, that's that's Whiskey.
I love it.
I actually listened to some of a podcast about you talking about whiskey.
Oh, was it the Percast?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. That was a good one.
Oh, good old whiskey. So before we get into the Shivering Truth, I kind of want to get completely off topic again and say that I listened to another podcast, The Smart Mouth, about you talking about avocados, and then ironically, I'm actually eating an avocado right now. That wasn't even planned.
Oh, thank you for listening to these. That's so awesome. I love avocados. That was really interesting to hear just what how they came to be.
I learned so much about avocados from that episode. It's ridiculous. Like, I did not know that I needed any of that avocado information.
Avocados are a special thing, really. They are very special.
They're unlike anything else, really.
I love them.
They're so durable.
Oh, yes. Very, very durable. You can make avocado fries, guacamole, anything you want. Just run wild.
Kat, your voice got so happy when you started talking about avocados. You're
I love
like,
it.
Yes, avocados. So, Kat, can you tell us how you and Vernon met and like how the Shivering Truth was formed?
Yeah, we met about, almost 10 years ago now through a mutual friend who's also in the industry, who had kind of told the both of us that we would really like to work together before we had even met each other. So we kind of knew going into it that we were already fans of each other's work. And that kind of ended up being part of just an initial immediate like connection. And we were like, oh yeah, we're going to make something together someday. And after that, we occasionally would get dinners and we would just talk about stuff we loved, music we loved, movies we loved, art we loved, and books we were reading, and just various kinds of weird stories that we loved and wanted to tell, like, at some point. And so we ended up going through, like, years and years of that, of just going back and forth between different, like, dinners and different kind of, like, brainstorm, mind meld, kind of twisted story ideas. And then we both got really busy with other things, and Vernon just one day called me up and was like, hey, Kat, I wrote 6 scripts. Let's make them. And I was like, okay. He's like, are you free right now? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, let's make a pilot. I was like, okay. So we did the pilot, and you know, because we had that long period of time when we were going through and trying to like decide to learn about what each other want to make, we got really good at communicating creatively with each other. So we have this kind of inherent, really good creative relationship and connection that I think really helps the show exist, and I'm really grateful for it. Yeah.
So was stop motion always in mind?
Yeah, well, not always, but it became more in mind. Vernon wanted to do something that was like heavily art directed and also heavily production designed, and I do live action, I do hybrid stuff, and I also do 2D animation, and I do stop motion, and he and like animatronics and stuff. But he wanted it to be like he was really into animation from the beginning, and he just wanted to do a stop motion show, and so he really wrote the pilot and the first season with that in mind. And one thing that we had always talked about was like trying to push this medium as far as we possibly could to make the most extensively stop motion animated show you can imagine, by just pushing it to like as far as it could possibly go.
And
Sure.
you guys did that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you did that and then some.
You
Thank
did
you.
that for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that's always been a big deal for us.
So you got into stop motion when you were in college, right?
When I went to art school in Chicago, and in Chicago, they really taught us how to kind of do constructive criticism and think creatively about what we were wanting to do. They didn't necessarily teach us how to make films. And so I had to make what I wanted to make just based on what I already kind of could do. They gave us all the tools we would need, like we could rent cameras, we could rent lights, but that was it. And I had to figure out how to make the kind of movies I wanted to make all by myself. And I didn't have a lot of money, and I just was like, okay, well, I'm gonna fabricate the puppets, I'm gonna fabricate the sets, I'm gonna set up the lights and set up the camera, and I'm gonna shoot this myself, and it's gonna be, you know, a stop motion show because that's what I know how to do on my own. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started in stop motion. But I always loved animation my whole life, and it's because I, from a really young age, was just obsessed with figuring out in movies how things were done, how effects were done, and how things were animated, so I knew I always wanted to do it, and so that's kind of how I got into it. I was just loving it.
Did you have any big inspirations when it comes to stop motion, or did you kind of like have big animation inspirations and just led over to it?
Yeah, a lot of my instructors in Chicago were really influential for me. They taught me how to do what I first was doing in stop motion when I very first started was a lot of multiplane stuff, which is when you have a camera set up above the sets and puppets and you shoot down and then the sets and puppets are all really flat. They were kind of all specialties and had all specialized in that, and they taught me how to do that sort of. So I was really influenced by that, and that goes back like into the 20s. Like people were doing animation in that style. That's pretty much all original cell animation was done that way. And then there's 3-dimensional versions of it too. There's one really cool old one of a Popeye animated cartoon where the sets are all practical and like physical 3-dimensional. Well, they're relief sculptures on glass, and then they inserted his cell animation in between them to make it look like the 2D characters walking around in a 3D world. And I just love that. I love old filmmaking techniques. And so that really, it all came from that. And books that I had as a kid that were like how movies are made, or behind the scenes and from Batman and things like that, and Ghostbusters. And then I also just loved... but then my favorite kind of movies were more like heady European movies. So it's kind of a combination of those things, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like how you're like, the college that you went to kind of just really let you run with your own creativity, instead of telling you like, oh, do this, this, and this, like they just let you pretty much run wild with like what you wanted to make for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, they were so awesome. They really they didn't have majors. You just made your own way and found your own way, and you had to make a senior thesis. You had to make projects at the end of semesters, and but other than that, they didn't force you to do anything you didn't want to do. Yeah.
That's awesome. It was
great. Yeah, I really liked it. I think that's a good way to teach creative people.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I think a lot of us know that, stop motion is very, very stressful and takes a lot. What does it take to make an episode of The Shivering Truth, and has the quarantine affected this?
So we luckily, finished season 2 before this started. But
season 3,
yeah.
At least I'm hoping.
Yeah, or as of now, who knows? But there are a lot of other stop motion productions that are working right now, and they had to all stop, and they're all trying to figure out right now what they're going to do and how they're going to move forward. There's big movies that had to stop that they don't know yet what's going to happen. So they're just doing what they can with distance and with like working from home. I really hope something happens and there's some sort of way to make it work to get those movies finished. I really what we do when we produce Shivering is we like my show, like Shivering, in contrast to those big movies, like a movie or a kind of a larger stop motion production. Like there's a bunch of them being made by Netflix right now, and those movies have much more people than we do. We have probably about 60 people max in our crew, in the actual production crew, and they're kind of not all even there at the same time. But when we are all there, we're all working very closely. We're all working with the same materials and the same tools, and we're working in small stages where we set it up and everybody's touching stuff. Like I don't know how you could do stop motion with, at least as far as actual production, shooting things, with the way the world is right now. And I mean, you could you could set up different stages at people's houses, but even setting those stages up takes a lot of people to come in. Takes your whole camera team has to come in and light it. Your whole set dressing team has to come in and build the set out. Your rigging team has to come in and rig the puppets. And even to build puppets, it takes so many people. So, it's like I feel very lucky that we finished the show, but also I am very grateful just in general to always be able to have a crew that is so insanely talented and specialized and willing to work on this crazy show. They're amazing. And a lot of them worked on the pilot and season 1. And then season 2, we had a lot of new people, but we also had some really valuable people that came back that are just incredible. So everybody's worked on the show is so awesome. So yeah.
So what traumatized you as a child?
Yeah. I was going to ask, like, is this nightmare based? Because this is like terrifying. Like,
it's funny because I feel like it's sometimes I look to things that scare me in order to think more creatively about a subject or a theme. Mm-hmm. So to open up a theme, I often ask myself, like, what is the scariest version of this, or what's the most intense version of this, and that both opens me up in a kind of
You stick condoms in your hair. I'm following.
Yeah,
I'm following.
It opens you up in a surrealist way, and then it also opens you up in a humorous way. And so those things go together. And you laugh when you're scared, And I really wanted the show to have that dichotomy, and Vernon writes that dichotomy really well without even trying to write scary things. He's just trying to tell stories. And I love the way he writes, in that it's nothing you would have ever thought about before in your life. And that's the kind of movies and the kind of content I want to make, is the stuff that no one would have ever thought about seeing with their eyes and have to figure out how to show that to people. It's my favorite.
On that, do you think is that why Trey Parker got involved? Because I heard his voice in a few episodes. I recognize it immediately. I'm a huge South Park fan.
So Vernon has worked on South Park for a long time. He and Trey go back many years. So yeah, we were lucky to get him to do some voices. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I hope he likes the show.
I don't see why he wouldn't, honestly. The show is amazing. I love it.
Have you had a chance to ask him? Do you know how he feels about it?
I haven't personally. I think he and Vernon probably have talked about it. I should ask Vernon. Yeah. Yeah.
So I noticed you do like a lot of your Vimeo is like filled with a bunch of shorts for like Adult Swim. Like you have Rick and Morty stuff. Do you work like specifically with Dan and Justin to make these shorts?
So when we made those ones, I did promos for Rick and Morty for 2 seasons, and the first one they knew they wanted. It was a toy commercial. At the time, they didn't have any toys, and it was a fake toy commercial. But we wanted to sell it like it was a real toy commercial to try to convince people that there was going to be real. Kind
of like those old like Nickelodeon commercials.
Yeah, exactly. Like there were going to be real toys coming out, And I love, and so does Justin. Like we both really bonded over 80s toy commercials, like for He-Man and the Ghostbusters toys, and I still watch those sometimes to fall asleep because they're so comforting to me. So that was already my wheelhouse majorly, and I was like, oh, I get to do this? Okay. So I just dove headfirst into it, and that was really fun. And then we also got to make some pretty cool puppets for that spot that I love a lot. I forget what those aliens are called. It's been a while. There's a certain kind of alien from Rick and Morty.
They're aren't they like the Garboids or something? What the fuck are they? Is that it?
Garboids? Yeah.
Garbles.
Garboids.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
I have one second. I'm going to show you something.
I was just going to ask you if you have any puppets you could show me.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have a puppet. I have a maquette of the puppet. I don't have the actual. I wish I had the puppet. But
holy shit.
That's amazing.
Our puppet team sculpted this so that we could make sure we were happy with how they would look.
This is so cool. Holy shit!
Oh my god!
This little guy has
Oh
a
my
hard
God.
time in episode 1 on season 2.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
It was a very hard time.
Yeah, he's never mind. I was gonna say it, but
What were you gonna
Well, that's
say?
episode 1. I think we can talk about episode
Yeah,
1,
you
right?
should- probably.
Episode 1 we could talk about. It's just not 2
that
and 3.
that was the
correct.
jumper, right?
Thanks, Tyler. Yes, this is
Thanks, Tyler.
Yeah, this is our little jumper. He's an office man.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you. We pulled up pictures of cats with catnip to use as reference for his animation.
Very
Okay,
nice.
I do have some Rick and Morty puppets.
Oh,
Please. Are you ever gonna sell any of these?
yeah.
I expected that, but I had to shamelessly go for
Okay,
it.
these are the smallest Rick and Morty puppets
Oh,
you'll ever see.
shit.
Those
are fucking
were
tiny.
in my
What are those? Just a few inches?
like 1.5 inches on Morty. Yeah. And
Holy shit.
these were used in the second set of spots I did for them, where I had like super wide. They were in the butt world, and and Morty is bouncing on the butts and flying into the air. That's what this one was, and he was made to spin around, and be like he doesn't spin as well anymore. He's been through some stuff, but and then Rick was just yelling at him, like, looking up and yelling. They've lost some of their rods, so they don't fully work anymore. But that's them.
Was that the same Morty from the bathroom one with Summer?
That was a bigger Morty. I love
Okay.
that bath. I love the Summer one is one of my
That
favorite.
one's awesome.
I love it so much. I love when she rips the sink from the wall. Those ones. Justin and I had like a phone call where we just brainstormed what we wanted to do, and then I wrote them up and sent them back, and then he punched them up, and then we made them. So that was those ones.
That's fucking
yeah.
awesome.
I probably have more that I'm not even thinking of that is just in here that I don't. It's just inherently in here.
I love your little world of puppets.
That thing.
This is
Can you
great.
see this thing? This thing.
I see something over there.
That's-
The little glass thing, the little
the
case.
rectangle thing that's on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like it has tongues and noses in it, and that's from episode 2.
Oh shit!
That's episode 2.
I love that.
I didn't think that those puppets were that small in season 2.
Oh no, they're not. They're not. You mean the? Oh.
Well, even the office person you showed us.
Oh yeah. Well,
It was a lot smaller than I expected.
He's smaller scale. For
Yeah.
the most part,
Okay.
the puppets are like around here. Oh, I do have. What else?
Well, like half a year ago, I walked up to Brie and I was like, hey, I found this chick Tierra Whack, and I was like, there's this music video called Unemployed, and I was like, there's these potatoes that are singing, and it's fucking insane. I didn't know that you directed it, and then I started looking, and then I saw it on your Vimeo, and I was like, did she do this? And then I looked, and I was like, oh my god, and I found a little a video on Instagram of the potato animatronics.
When
fuck?
we were getting ready for this interview, Caleb sent it to me, and in all caps, he was like, "Oh my god, she did this." He's like, "Do you remember
I
showing
probably
me
did say
this?
that.
Showing you this?" And I was like, "Yes, like, oh my god, this is insane. Like, this music video was like," and you showed it to me while we were driving. And I was like, I was just so like
right.
stuck.
Allegedly.
No, it was like you were driving, but I was watching.
Don't. Hey,
I'm not.
what the
Anyway,
move on.
That was a pre-COVID world.
It was, and I was so just like stuck onto it. Like, it was amazing. Like, that video is incredible. I love it.
Thank you. That actually was made with help from Adult Swim. They helped us out on that, so I'm very
shit.
grateful for that. And also Tierra and I. Actually, Tierra does a voice this season.
Wow.
In
Oh shit!
one of the episodes. Yeah.
In one of the ones I've seen, or
You haven't seen it.
okay, cool.
I'm
And I want
excited.
to leave it. I want to try to make people guess who she is because it's you wouldn't. I don't think anyone would guess it. She's really.
She has a very unique voice. Does she use like her voice
She
or?
did a voice for this. She has like she can do characters and stuff. She's
Oh shit.
so great. I love her. I want to work with her again. I want to make another video with her again as soon as I can. And I love them so much. And her like management and producer, they're all so great. So like family.
You guys seem like you go well together.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm honored. Like they reached out to me, and I was already a fan of her, and they were like, they followed me. One of the guys that works with her followed me on Instagram, and then sent me a message and just said, "Hey, do you want to work with Tierra Whack?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like it was like so fast. I was like, "Yes, I do." And then it just happened, and we had about a week to make the video. It was so fast. It was crazy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wait, a week?
Yeah.
Holy
It was
shit.
very fast. I'm very proud of it.
That's
That potato's
that's
terrifying.
insanely fast, but you did that, girl. You did that.
Thanks.
All right, let's get down and dirty. What's the worst project you've ever worked on?
Oh my gosh.
Something you just fucking hated.
Well, actually, it's something I think about a lot because I've had to do, like, I'm a young woman who is single in the industry, and
She's
It's-
single.
I have 2 cats.
Cat's number is 555.
But it's you have to figure out how to make money. And so there's been a lot of projects I've had to do over the years that are just literally just to get a paycheck, but still, if I at the time now I feel like I'm in a place where this maybe wouldn't happen, but you never know. But when I was younger, I was scared that if I gave up and got started working on some other kind of job, that everybody would think I precisely gave up and that I didn't want to make films anymore, didn't want to be a director anymore. And so I've really tried my whole career to keep directing and keep pushing no matter how little money I've had, And so I've had to take projects that weren't necessarily my cup of tea, that also even the people who were in charge of them probably didn't want to be making them either, because they were probably also doing it for money. But I feel like everybody has that, and I think that we should talk about it more, like the stuff we have to do to kind of keep our careers afloat through the years. And I don't know, I think it's interesting. So I guess there's that. But I as far as being like the worst, I had a music video. In the video, I actually really like how it came out, but I can't tell you what it was. But I'll say this.
Just send me a personal message and I'll watch it.
I'll say that I was I ended up having to adopt some kittens by the end of it, and they weren't these cats. Those cats I found good homes for later, but because the kittens were brought on to the project in a way that was not, they shouldn't have been brought on to the project. We didn't hire actor animals. Like they brought in animals that they had adopted off Craigslist and then didn't have a plan for where the cats were going to go after. And I was like, "Where are these cats going?" And they're like, "I don't know." And I was like, "There's no plan for these cats." And they were like, "Nope." And I was like, "Okay, I'm taking these cats home." So I
love you for that. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was. But the actual project came out really well, and I love that video. So it's just, it is what it is.
Gotta hang out with some cats for a while.
That's exactly what I would do in that situation. So, so on a lighter note, what is your favorite part just about like what you do and like directing and everything like that?
Wow. I feel really lucky every day to get to do what I do, even though I've worked really hard to get to do what I do.
Of course.
But I would say that I absolutely love the early stages of Shivering Truth because it's Vernon and I sitting around talking about the show and kind of diving deep into every single tiny detail. And I get to ask him a question about every single thing. So everything he writes, I get to say, like, do you think this guy would wear glasses? Like just anything I could think of, like, what's this guy's favorite color? I kind of love that part of it, and I do a lot of like thumbnails and initial storyboarding for the show with Vernon while we talk, and I love that process. I love learning and diving deeper, and that's also when we do a lot of building out of what the world is and where we can put other jokes or other references that get the story across more, and it's one of the greatest experiences I've had making something is that part of it. The actual production, I also love. My crew every day, like, they're insanely good at what they do. Each person that is hired on this show is better at the job they're hired for than I am. I could not do what they do. And I know enough about what they do to work with them and be empathetic to the limitations that they have. But I also love to let them do their work and let them bring magic to it that I couldn't ever bring on my own. And so that's always really amazing when people really dive in and get excited about something specific. That's really fun. When we're shooting, we get really slap happy, and you can kind of hear other people through the curtains on the different stages. And there were certain things in this season where we would all end up singing the same song, like belting out the same song across 13 stages that are working at one time, or we would be like screaming out lines from the show that were stuck in our head, and that was so great. So stuff like, I just feel really lucky I get to play all day. It's hard, but I don't want anything else. I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I have something. Are you into the Dark Crystal?
I respect the artfulness of the Dark Crystal. I haven't watched the new one. When I was younger, I really loved it. I'd have to rewatch it. What do you...
No, that was really it. I just...
I love Jim Henson at the time when he made the Dark Crystal. He got a lot of flack from a
lot of shit about it.
Yeah, and I respect that he stuck to his guns and made what he wanted to make. I think I respect that a lot.
There wasn't going to be like any talking from the Gelflings or like pretty much any of the characters really at all. Like I think Jen talked a little bit, but there was barely any dialogue on the Skeksis or anyone else. And then I know he showed it at like some film festivals, and they were like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
There's this girl, Maeve, who worked on the pilot and season 1, and she is so cool, and she did a bunch of wigs for us and costumes for us, and she did costumes on the new series for the new Dark Crystal series.
Yeah, Resistance.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
She's really cool. Yeah, so we had some crossover with Shivering.
So, do you have any other projects you're working on right now?
At the moment, I did. I had a project with Orion, but that Orion is rethinking their strategy for making stuff right now, so that probably isn't going to happen at Orion, but I don't know yet what's going to happen with it. But it's a thriller, like a feature-length live-action thriller.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah, that's this fun one. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? Everything's up in the air. I have some projects that I want to do that I'm sort of like outlining and getting to a deeper place. I have time to do that now. And that's really about it at the moment. I've been using kind of this time to recover from 8 months of work on Shivering.
Yeah.
And then also kind of do some stuff like paintings and random art projects that I never get to do, or work on my house and things like that. Yeah.
Bree, do you have anything else, really?
Actually, just off the top of my head, I really want to know what your favorite scary movie is.
Oh, wow.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that.
I really love horror movies, and I really love thrillers, and I grew up very, very, very afraid of Chucky. I couldn't handle him. he made me very afraid of my own dolls and I made my mom put them all away in the closet, and they all had to face the wall. And the original Twilight Zone movie I really love, and I'm obsessed with The Witches. It's one of the greatest movies ever made, and I talk about it a lot. And I think really, I do think The Witches still holds up as a very scary movie. To me, it's pretty perfect.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It still freaks me out all the time. I'm trying to think of what else that I'm not thinking of right now. I'm curious what your guys's are. You probably have said them on the podcast before, but.
Well, mine.
Bree's Evil Dead.
Mine, without a doubt, is Evil Dead.
The
whole series, 1, 2, and 3. Like, it's
so good.
So good. And it's just amazing. But as you were saying, like, about the whole Chucky thing, I was also terrified of Chucky. Like, I thought he was gonna pop out at every corner, and it's totally irrational, but, like, I agree with you. Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah. It's so scary. It's so funny it's hard to pick a favorite scary movie. I like the movies that when we were kids, it was like, oh, this is just a movie. And you didn't, like, there were scary movies for kids when we were younger, and that doesn't exist as much anymore, and I wish it did. I really wish there were still scary movies for kids.
Oh, yeah.
But, trying to think of, I'm, like, looking around my house trying to remember
What about this? Do you have a favorite killer?
Like a serial killer?
Like a killer in a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
Or favorite serial killer. No. I'm interested in that too.
I do know a lot about true crime, but I don't have a favorite. But I have, let's see, I think it's, well, I love Cat's Eye. And the that little leprechaun guy. That's
Warwick Davis.
Yeah, is it him? No, is he animated?
He's attacking. He's attacking in Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying you like Cat's Eye and like Leprechaun.
Oh, and Leprechaun.
I thought it was like two separate ones.
No.
Oh, no.
In Cat's Eye, there's a little leprechaun that's harassing Drew Barrymore in her bedroom. And I really I don't know, just made me think of Cat's Eye. I think Cat's Eye is a really special movie, even though I don't know that they harmed, I'm worried they may have harmed cats making it. But,
yeah,
that's not good.
But it's still, yeah. I'm trying to think of another...
very interesting answers. I like it.
I love it.
Thanks. There's some.
Are we locking you into the little animated leprechaun from Cat's Eye?
Sure. Yeah. There's some.
You heard it here, guys.
Animated. There's some movie references this season in Shivering, and I'm curious if people will catch them.
To Cat's Eye?
No, to other things.
Okay.
We'll probably catch them, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I'm really curious what you guys think of it.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much getting close to the end of our time here.
Yeah.
I hope I've given you guys some good answers.
No, you did. This was fucking awesome.
Your answers were amazing. Like,
thanks.
So in depth, very good. I love it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're very easy to talk to.
Thanks. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. I'm glad you like it.
I can't wait to watch it. I cannot wait to watch it.
How many bananas is too many bananas?
Do you mean if you're eating them or if you just have them in your house?
This is a general question.
I don't think if I'm eating bananas, I could probably eat 4 bananas in a day and be done with bananas for the day.
I got another 4? This isn't the first time I've got that answer.
You know what? I was going to say 3.
Yeah.
I was going to say 3. I love bananas.
I love bananas. I love them. I max out at 1, though.
I I have friends that don't like bananas because they don't like the smell of bananas. And so whenever I'm like in a group, like at an office or something, remember what that's like. Sorry, but whenever I'm in an office, I always am like, if I'm eating a banana, I'm like, are you someone who's bothered by the smell of bananas or not? Like, can you tell me?
So considerate.
It's weird because most people I know who like love bananas hate banana flavored things. But to me, like banana Laffy Taffies, banana pudding, I love it all. Like, it's so good. I love it.
Me too. Me too.
Banana
I
cream
love
pie.
bananas.
Yeah.
Me too. I like that question.
I love ending it on bananas.
Thank you.
So, Kat, is there anything that you want people to search right now aside from The Shivering Truth? Obviously, search The Shivering Truth on Adult Swim. Premieres May 10th?
Yeah, May 10th on Adult Swim. I hope you love it. And I'm
So
really
if you guys
proud
are
of it.
listening to this immediately, that's this Sunday. 'Cause this will probably come out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch it this Sunday.
It's a great Mother's Day present for all you mothers out there.
Especially episode 2.
Oh, I love it. I agree. Watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, do you want to plug anything else?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I try to not be obnoxious on those if you want to follow me on those. Yeah, that's it really. I mean, I hope you like the show. Let me know if you like it. I'm Kat Solon from The Shivering Truth, and you're listening to Horror Soup.